How's it going, guys? Caden here with Stellar Survival, and welcome back to The Bunker, where we sit down with folks from the survival community and have real conversations about the lessons they've learned and self-reliance in today's world. And today, we have Scott from ButtonHook Forge finally on the show. How you doing, buddy?
Good, yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. We've been talking for a while, obviously, and I wanted to get you on the show, but first, I wanted to get my hands on this bad boy here. And guys, I was telling Scott I am going to do a review of it here, but this is the keys from ButtonHook Forge. And I'll tell you what, I think it's where I found you, honestly. You were doing a giveaway of a keys. Is that right?
Yeah, I think when I hit 1,000 followers on Facebook, I did one a little while ago.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And I saw it being shared around on some of the other survival pages and all that, and I was just like, oh man, that knife is really cool. And I waited a little bit until my birthday came and made a great investment, honestly, because I'll talk about it then in the review. But I've put this thing through hell and done everything from bushcrafting to cooking with this thing. I didn't get to tell you, but I was cutting up some big pieces of tuna from my deep sea fishing trip the other day with it, and it just buttered, man. It was amazing, and because all of our kitchen knives just weren't quite cutting it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, didn't get that thing for nothing. So yeah, it has been a
it's me to
workhorse.
do a little bit of everything, but be tough on top of it all. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So I guess that leads to the questions here, but what got you, obviously, you're in the survival community here. I purposefully haven't asked you a ton of questions on, like, if you're into preparedness or survival skill. I know that you do your blacksmithing, forging these amazing knives, but what got you started in the world of survival and preparedness?
we grew up on a farm growing up, which not other people do as well, but I always just had like a curious mind on how things work or how somebody did something. Whether it's looking at equipment or just anything, or trying to make your own entertainment as you're a kid, when it was just kind of me and my brother, and my sister was a fair amount younger than me. But making our own entertainment, making gadgets, or putting sticks together a certain way to make something in our minds that made a lot of sense, which looking back probably didn't. Um, but as I got older, just kind of followed with, just got bigger toys or bigger ambitions on wanting to learn stuff. Um, Brewed beer for a while, did some amateur gunsmithing for a while. A lot of my drive comes from not wanting to pay somebody else to do something that I'm pretty sure I can figure out how to do myself.
Yep.
And whether or not I always master it the first time or end up with a bunch of extra spend while I learn a skill, at least it's a skill that you have to go on. And a lot of those are
Exactly.
always transferable between
Yeah.
different things you work on. You might learn something in carpentry that you can use, somewhere down the road doing something else. So
Yeah, very true.
I guess
Very
just
true.
being curious has been a trait I've had.
Yeah. So you're a vet as well, correct?
Yep, I was in high school when 9/11 happened, and we have a fair amount of military in our family. I was planning on joining the Air Force. 9/11 happened, and I kind of changed the Marine Corps and went to the recruiter and asked if I could get infantry, and he kind of laughed, and that's what I ended up doing for 4 years. Got my two deployments into Iraq, and then got out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Was there? Do you think any? I hear a lot of people saying, oh, these people doing this school are, ex-military. Do you think that affected your journey in survival at all, or preparedness in any way? Like, I hear a kind of a mixed bag of it, where people are like, no, I didn't learn anything, and this, that. I guess it really depends on what your MOS would have been and stuff. But it's funny to kind of see people where I'm like, I know a fair bit about firearms, and then talking with people that are some that are ex-military, they're like, I have no idea. You know what I mean?
I think if you talk about firearms, yeah, I came out far beyond what I was, and then it was a skill I wanted to keep developing. So on the civilian side, taking a couple day courses at a place down south they used to have. But as far as like preparedness or any of it, I don't think the skills maybe outside of firearms, especially with being kind of the infantry background,
Mhm.
apply necessarily. I think what you gain out of it that you may not, kind of in the civilian world or whatever coming out is you get out at 21 and you have a confidence in yourself maybe that you didn't always have,
Mhm.
which then kind of turns into wanting to be prepared, especially with family and everything else. You want to make sure you're, kind of the one there, which I don't think is just found in, ex-military people or whatever, but I think it definitely helps maybe a higher percentage of people that come out with that mindset.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I've noticed too. Like I said, you kind of get people in different roles, and it's kind of interesting to see what different positions in. It can be military, it can be different kinds of service work, and that give people this mind for it, and um, it's interesting to me because
So
just
I mean,
seeing
people think you
people.
come out like, oh, sorry, but you come out like being a fist fighting brawler and stuff, and the training you get for that is next to nothing. I mean, you're probably going to get your ass beat by somebody on the street if you have that thought process.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Oh
just the
yeah.
mindset of being self reliant and confident in yourself and whatever else. So
Everybody watched a Rambo, man, and everybody thinks they're him.
yeah, a lot of people find out quick they're not too. So
Yeah, yeah. I know it's it's crazy to think about. We were kind of discussing it, but just in preparedness in general, when people think about it from from a side of like, it's all guns and military backgrounds, always this that, but we were kind of discussing it where we just had a major storm, and it took out a lot of power and a lot of trees down and all this stuff, and we were kind of discussing that you had a pretty decent storm out there the other day, correct?
yeah, I think it just kind of went across the whole country.
Yeah, it really swept through, and we got hit pretty hard up here, and that's the crazy part is that the whole time I'm like, we're good, you know what I mean, and seeing what everybody else is dealing with, where it's like, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal for us to lose power. You know what I mean? We have the generator, we have backups for this, that, and the other thing, and I know, I'm sure another person like yourself in that space kind of feels similar.
Oh yeah, and I think
Yeah,
it kind of gets lost sometimes where preparedness or survival or bushcraft or whatever has to be rubbing sticks together,
yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
not. I think it's just a mindset of you know you can plan or think about 80% that 20%'s out of your control, but if you have the tools and knowledge or the people around you, the community to kind of come together to overcome that 20% unknown, that's where the most important part is. With
Oh,
modern tools
absolutely.
or old tools, I mean, just using what's available.
Yeah, yeah. It is cool to see how the younger generation deals with stuff, and then how the older generation does as well in those situations, because
Yeah.
there's great parts about each way, but I always try to pay attention, when folks older than me are doing something, or the ways they would have done things, and it comes down to simple stuff like excuse me, it comes down to simple things like, you know I feel like our generation, well, I think you're a little older than me, but um like even food wise, we're thinking MREs, those preparedness meal buckets and stuff like that. But between my mom and grandmothers and stuff, I got into canning. I'm doing old lady,
Oh yeah.
fun and all that, and it's great because it's not just the over crazy sodium stuff. You know what I mean? On our shelf, we have a bunch of stuff, but there's a soup that we made, and we know exactly what's there. You know what I mean? And it's interesting to see, because today I was cruising around Leola, where I spent a lot of time growing up, and just seeing some of the older folks doing stuff certain ways that I stopped in to give a hand to, and some of my buddies that are my age. It's just it's cool to see the different generations doing the same thing, but in their own way.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. I think it goes back to just wanting to learn more. So I'm the same way. I think I want to start a garden and then it grows bigger and bigger. Well, if I grow all this stuff, I got to learn how to, preserve it if we're not going to eat it. I guess I got to
Yeah,
learn canning now. And then there's more and more skills. There's just not enough time in the day to,
yeah,
kind of learn
yeah.
it all and know enough to, keep it going.
So, at what point in your journey here did Button Hook Forge start to be a thing? Like, where did you go? was there a certain drive where you're like, is there a situation you're using some knife and it snaps and you're like, oh, I could make this better, kind of, and you're like, oh, you know what? Like, what's the thing that made ButtonHook Forge happen?
um, I've always liked knives. I've had, pocket knives like a lot of people have probably in this community since I was a little kid, and, get your first cut and don't want your parents to see it. So they take your knife away and stuff. But um,
Yep.
again, I'm just kind of looking for a new hobby after, done a bunch of other ones looking for a new skill. And, like most people probably around this time, Forge and Fire was a big thing. And I was starting to watch that. And in my mind, I thought, oh, they can do it. I can probably do it too. So uh, one Christmas, I think 2021 or 2022, so not that long ago, kind of got the basic setup with the forge, got a piece of railroad track from my grandpa that's, hundreds of years old probably, and kind of fashioned that into an anvil and some basic, Harbor Freight tools, and
Nice.
started to do it. Then it kind of quickly went, oh, if I have this, this is a lot better. I could do this better or that better. I can't do this until I get that. And then it just grew into more money, a lot more time, and me enjoying it more. So yeah,
That's
now I got a lot of stuff, and then there's always more stuff that I want to get. So
Yeah, yeah. If you had to say, out of all the knives you've made, whether it's a single one or a series of knives you've made, what's your favorite? What's your favorite button hook forge knife? Like that's your knife that you're like, you know what, I'm
if
the most proud of this one.
you had asked me that like 3 or 4 weeks ago, it would have been a default to my daily. And this is the prototype one I made for myself because when I was working a straight job, we're supposed to have knives on you. I always carried a folder, then I wanted one of mine, so I made this to fit into a pocket, and it's real small. You can choke up with a little finger choil and stuff.
Nice.
Um, but now I made the striker a little bit ago, and this has quickly become my new favorite knife. It's a
Yeah.
little bigger. I mean, I wear it on my hip all the time because I can because run a knife business. But um, yeah, between the two, I always have both of these on me typically. But going out camping or whatever else, or just around the house, there's always a use for one or both of them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
those are my two
I've
favorites: the daily and the striker. But
I've spent a lot of time with this bad boy on my hip, man, and it's a big knife. It's not small, but it just the thing that I love really is that the sheath is so slim. It's not oversized, and I can get in and out of the car with it. You know what I mean? Like if it's on my hip, I'm not even I'm really not bothered by it. You know,
yeah,
I do love that you go the extra mile with the Kydex holster. That's solid. And it's a good Kydex holster too.
no, I
Clicks right in.
appreciate
It's awesome. Yep.
it.
You do that. You
Yeah, that
you
was
custom do those.
one of the what's that? Sorry.
So yeah, sorry. There's a for everybody watching. There's like a slight delay, so sometimes we're gonna cut each other off. But you custom fit to each knife, right? For the holster for the sheaths.
Oh yeah, yep. Every sheath is made specifically for that knife. So in a batch of whatever I do that week, because now during the summer with the kids being home, my cadence has slowed down a little bit. But usually it's try to get 8 to 12 knives out a week are built, and they're all really close to each other, but they're all also individual because I am making them. I mean, they're a batch, but they're one at a time. Yeah, so every sheath is made custom fit to that knife. Might fit another one in that batch, but it's made specifically for that knife.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So in all your we were talking you were talking about getting new stuff that has made the job easier for you and forging and all that, but whether it's a blacksmithing tool, whether it's a piece of gear for preparedness or survival stuff, what's like one new piece of gear you got that you're having trouble setting down that you're obsessed with right now?
One that I wanted for a while that I finally purchased a couple months ago has been my even treat heat treat oven.
Nice.
So as the business has kind of grown, started out banging out a lot more of them on the anvil. As I've gone, I've started to get some tendonitis in my forearm and stuff, so the hammer gets not as fun to swing all the time. So I'll make my own layered stuff, but a lot of it's like stock removal now. But anyways, forge behind me here used to heat treat everything with that. It limits you a little bit on steels because you can put the buzzword out on, I use this steel, but if you don't heat treat it exactly as that steel has to be heat treated, you're not getting any of the benefits out of it.
Hmm.
Um, so I had doctored some stuff, some thermocouples and stuff to dial it in a lot more. But this heat treat oven is saves me so much time, and I can get my perfect heat treat out that's consistent every single time with recipes that I research into and come up with and trial and make test coupons for. Um, but yeah, before on the forge, heat treating 12 knives was like me sitting on a bench by the forge, probably breathing a gas I shouldn't be breathing in, for like 2 solid days to do it right with all the thermocycling and quenching and stuff. Uh, this heat treat oven kind of set and forget, and thermocycling is all together in a couple hours, and then the
That's
quenching
awesome.
I still usually do one or two at a time, but just for quality. But yeah, it's heat treat oven's been a game changer up, after the 2x72 belt grinder. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's awesome.
expensive, but it was well worth the price.
Yeah, that's awesome. Does that give you any not that you need to, obviously, because your stuff's so awesome now, but like to expand into other like things like axes or axe heads, or you kind of did like a almost a machete recently, didn't you?
That was a 12-inch brisket knife I made for somebody out in
Okay.
Hawaii. Um, but yeah, definitely. So kind of upgraded my quench tank game and spent a couple $100 to get that bigger to make longer stuff. And then yeah, the heat treat oven just for consistency. You can do it in a forge, but and a lot of people do. But just having that safety net or knowing that what you're putting in there is what you're intending to have be done. There
Yeah,
is some
yeah,
variability in a forge, obviously, with hot spots and cold spots. And if it gets too long, you're kind of using your arm in and out to keep it even. And you could definitely do it. I did it for a few years, but yeah, the heat treat oven just gets you as close to as absolutely confident as you can that everything is how you're intending for it to be done.
yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
Good
it
stuff.
doesn't make you a better knife maker necessarily, but it puts your game plan into a more controlled nature.
Let you think about other things instead of worrying about that, huh?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. So, what is Button Hook Forge's like one EDC item that you're never leaving without? I assume it's probably the knife you already showed us, but maybe I'll have to take that off
Yeah.
the list here. But what else is as a father, a blacksmith, someone in this community? What's something else though that you're always one on you? And I got you can use the knife, and you know what? Please pitch that knife even more so for everybody watching.
So yeah, it's always whether I'm wearing. Usually, I wear pants in the shop and stuff. Even mesh shorts or whatever. The little daily here is always in my pocket. Typically, just from work. I mean, past lives and work experience and stuff. But and now, this little stream light, whatever it's called, micro stream. I love this flashlight. Rechargeable and it's little. I've dumped it in machine coolant and it still works. Um,
There you
that's
go.
another one.
Look at
Yeah,
that. That's the black one. Yep.
these things are super tough.
I know
Yeah, no,
mine's
that's
been.
that's a great little investment.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've lost it overnight, dropped it out of a pocket, everything like that, and it's still going. It's crazy how
Oh
how
yeah.
tough some of this gear is, you know.
Oh, I know. And I mean, it's battery powered, but the charge on it lasts for damn near forever. I don't know if I've ever had it actually die in my hand before.
Yeah.
And then you could take
Yeah.
AAA's instead of the rechargeable one, but that's always there. Um, I guess besides my wallet, my phone, which for modern, I mean, 99.9% of time, unless the end of the world comes, you're out lost or need something, you got a flashlight and everything else on your phone that you can use or call or do whatever GPS.
Yeah.
So day to
You
day,
know
if
what
we
I
go out camping, that changes a little bit, but every day that's yeah, pretty much three items.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I recently picked up that I was forever just like, that's gonna be so stupid. I don't understand why people have it, but I got an Apple Watch, right? And for like I said, forever I was like, that's not gonna be cool for me, whatever. But I got the one that's like they said it's for people that do outdoorsy stuff. It's dive proof, waterproof, shatterproof. Like they say, climbers and divers and all that stuff use it. And I'll tell you, it has been really cool. Like we were in the pool the other day, and I like goggles on were underneath, and I knew it was waterproof, so I just didn't bother taking it off. But I looked at it, and it's telling me exactly how many feet underwater I am and the pressure and all that stuff. I'm like, this is pretty
Oh,
neat,
really?
like yeah, you catch those certain things that are neat like that, and it's the GPS on it's pretty cool, and obviously just like compass and stuff like that. But it gives you like cool little stuff that when you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's kind of nice. And the other cool thing I found was when I went off the trail that we were on and we had no signal, it kept in itself like a map of exactly where we went, so we could
Oh,
kind of
really?
find our way back. Yeah, I thought that was neat. I thought that was really neat. Yeah.
It's one of those tools that you don't need, but humans make tools. So if you can make a
Yeah.
tool or
Yeah.
find a tool or buy a tool that fits a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a little Garmin watch that I've had for years. I mean, it's not as fancy as that, but yeah, just for
Oh
the
yeah.
compass or the GPS, or whatever, it's a nice tool to have on you for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. While we're on the topic of gear, the question I ask every guest that comes on the show: picture it wherever you want it to be. It's your desert island, it's your middle of the woods, whatever it is. You have 5 items that you can take with you, and that's what you got to survive. What are your 5 items? I guess we'll just skip right to
Um,
4 because that knife. Okay, we got that.
I was gonna say, nice, 90-degree spine, high carbon steel, knife, preferably button hook forge would be what I would pick. Um, First, I mean, the obvious, a fire starter of some kind. I know Bic lighters get kind of dumped on sometimes, either a Bic lighter or a ferro rod.
Yeah,
I guess maybe an island of ferro rod. Uh, Probably a nice heavy duty tarp would be one. You could do a lot with that.
yeah,
If it's on an island, just because it would help break up some monotony and maybe some food too, but a nice fishing pole with enough gear to go along with it, where if you don't break a line, you're screwed.
yep.
Um, what's that, 4?
That's 4.
And you usually do a bougie item, right?
That's that. Okay, so
Or
we'll
is it on
throw
top
it.
of
We'll
it?
throw it here. You have one bougie item, and we've had so far. Let's go through. I said a way to listen to music because I've always looked at like Alone and stuff like that, and I'm like, I feel like I could do all that, but I just want something to like listen to music would be great. So we've had music. Uh, Heath said a nice juicy steak. Nick said a nice bottle of whiskey or bourbon, rather. Sorry, bourbon. And I'm trying to think what Jason said. I can't remember what Jason said from All Mountain Systems, but so yeah, what is ButtonHook Forge's bougie item for the end of days?
So practical. And if I wanted to get off, it'd be like a sat phone or one of those, super fancy $100,000 watches that,
Uh
send planes to you. Um, but if I don't want to get off of this, deserted island that's nice and I have a fishing pole and I can catch a bunch of fish and whatnot, yeah, a little like, dorm room fridge full of some like bottomless pile of beer or something, nice and cold on the beach. That wouldn't
yeah.
be a bad way to do it, I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah, hard to complain. All right, freezer full of beer, you got, or fridge full of beer, you got it, man. That's
Yeah,
it.
some freezer full of beer and some fire cooked fish. That doesn't sound
Oh
like a bad
man,
day.
smoked fish, man. I'll tell you what, we I mentioned it at the beginning here, but I went deep sea fishing for the first time, and we had like 50 pounds of tuna here in the house, and all we're doing now is obviously processed and frozen and all that. And I'm just trying to think of like different ways to go about it because I love putting fish, smoked over the fire and all that, and it's been fun getting some fresh fish like that. It's good stuff because the week before we were camping and we caught like a bunch of trout up there too. So our freezer's just stocked full of fish right now.
Yeah,
But
I got
so what?
spoiled when I was in the Marines. I was stationed in Hawaii on and off, and my buddy who lived in the barracks room next to us, he went to like culinary school before he had enlisted. In Hawaii, you just go to the grocery store and buy mako shark or tuna or whatever you want, and it's all like fresh cut or fresh caught.
Ugh,
And he would make some fancy stuff like flaming desserts and awesome fish on a Weber grill outside of our barracks room, on the weekends. So
that's awesome.
I got pretty spoiled with having good stuff.
Oh yeah. That's funny. I went to culinary school as well. I spent some time as a chef, and that's another reason one of our next classes is an outdoor cooking class, because I spent a lot of time doing it. And every time we're camping, obviously the ex chef is default like, oh, I'm on cooking duty. It's just kind of how it goes.
So I'm sure, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that'd
So
be a
what's
fun
next?
class because I mean that's
Go
just
ahead.
so much of what you do when you're out. I mean, there's everything circles around the next meal kind of a thing, and then usually you have a hodgepodge of stuff you end up having the last couple days, and it's what you can mix together to make something you think might taste good in your head. It's always kind of
Yeah.
the fun part of it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We got some cool stuff that we're doing, and I think people will be surprised on the versatility of what you can use to cook when you're out. It's kind of beyond pots and pans and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be cool. I'm sure I'll be posting videos and pictures and stuff, and probably. I have a checklist when we're doing classes. I usually send you something, Nick something, All Mountain Systems, Heath. I'm like, look what we're doing. This is cool. You're on the checklist of that. So, but
I'm looking
so
forward
what's
to it.
what's next for ButtonHook Forge, man? What's the future looking like?
The business side, just to keep it growing. It's, I mean, been steadily growing and stuff, but me just being kind of a competitive mindset and always thinking I can do better. Obviously, I want to grow it more and more. Um, Ideally, get to a point where I can't keep up with demand. It always kind of ebbs and flows the way it goes. So, putting on my business cap and going out and doing more of that. In my professional life, I was an engineer for a long time and
Mm.
always hated the marketing side. But now that I'm doing this, that's most of what it is is doing the marketing stuff. So, um, that from the business side, from the actual grunt work, doing stuff I enjoy in the shop side. Really want to get a nice forge press. All the go mine and sand mine stuff I've made has always been hand hammered out,
Hmm.
and that quickly becomes less fun very quick. It's a lot of work to hand hammer all that stuff down into a little bar you can actually use. So a forge press would be awesome. But when we get to that point, wife might be a little mad that a lot of this she won't be able to park her vehicle in the garage anymore. My truck's already been out pasture for a while. Um, but yeah, forge press would be something I would like.
Yeah,
Start getting a little fancier on the creative side of Damascus or the Damascus patterns and whatever else.
yeah, yeah. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I always love seeing new stuff you got coming and all that. And so for everybody watching, where can they find these awesome knives? People want to start picking, guys, and seriously, like I said, I'll be doing a review soon, but every penny worth it. This is hands down the best knife I've ever used for what I do. So where can they find one, bud?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I put my own worst critic on all that. I'll come in and there'll be something, and I'll say, "Oh man, makes me mad. This happened. Why? I don't know what you're looking at when you look at it, but you stare at it for a week or 2 or 3 weeks. It kind of becomes your child."
Yep.
Um, but as far as best way to look, I post a lot of build progress on my Facebook page, and then
Mhm.
on Instagram as well, and they both tie together. Then the actual store, if you're local to me, which probably a lot of folks watching this aren't, um, is buttonhookforge.squarespace.com. Both those links are found in my profiles on the social media platforms. But as of right now, there's no people trying to copy me. I try to keep up on that on Instagram of copy pages. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If it's on there, it's made. All I do is I sharpen it and get it out the door. It's usually 1 or 2 day turnaround from when it's out my shop and heading your way. So
Yeah, like my knife was
yeah,
here within a couple days. It was awesome. And I don't think I told you I was so excited for it. I was joking I was joking with Scott, and I was just like, I'm like standing at the mailbox after I place the order. I'm like, you better get here, whatever, messing with him. And I'm not even kidding, dude. I saw the mailman come, and I ran out the front door like after he left in my underwear quick and just grabbed it off the front porch. I was like, I want it now. so so yeah,
It's definitely
guys,
something that almost becomes more than just a tool.
oh,
It
absolutely.
gets that personal feel where it's not a knife, it's your knife, and then it gets a whole,
Yeah.
kind of personality with it too. That
Yep, dude, I spent so many
it's
nights
something that's
just
it's hard
down
to
here.
find at Walmart or something.
Yeah. I spent so many nights down here just on your site, just like soon. I'm getting it soon. It's happening. But
Every
oh
time I
man,
do a
well,
batch, it's always I want to keep this one or I want to keep that one, and then my pile kind of grows where it's not just it'd be a proud parent and let it kind of go out to the world and let it do its thing.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Well, buddy, it was a pleasure finally getting to talk to you.
yeah, likewise. I
Yeah,
appreciate you having
man.
me on. It's been fun. So
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it won't be your last time. I think we're gonna do got some stuff coming down the pipeline, getting people back on and talking again in the future. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed talking with Scott here and ButtonHook Forge again. Some of the best knives I've ever used. So I hope you guys take a look and pick one up. And until next time, we will see you in the bunker.